Marcia, when you're bringing back the belt, but the belt coming out on Saturday. The march, that march, they're scared of the marches. Every time they see a march, it's like a child seeing a belt. You hear what I tell you? Every time they see a march on the street, look. Remember, it was after the last march that they wanted to meet with me? You remember that? Look, the march is like a belt. Lashes. That's what they see. They're scared of this. And when we march, we're marching for the resignation of the Prime Minister. Why? Why are we marching for the resignation of the Prime Minister? We have lost confidence. It seems like the Prime Minister, to us, the citizens, it seems like she doesn't want this job anymore. How could you miss the estimates? And you are at the opening of something happening on the country. Why that's disrespectful, madam. Huh? Bad management of this country. Very, very bad. We're saying no salary increase for PMs and MPs. None. That's what the march is. The march is saying no salary increase for PMs and MPs. No muzzling of citizens. The removal of sections of the cybercrime bill. The Hope Housing Project scandal. Removal of land tax. External investigation and audit of bra. Bra exposed. Bra is like a woman going down the road and take off her shirt. All of her bra exposed. Bra exposed. Listen. Every time they see that march, this is what they see. They feel a belt. That's what this is. They are scared of the marches, you hear? And don't mind those people who say, why you have to march again? I tell you, every time they see this march, every time they see the march, they see a belt. And I'm telling you, if you come out on in your numbers on Saturday at 10 o'clock at Massey Car Park, Kensington, you will send a message to them like nothing else. You are saying that, listen, we are tired and we are fed up and we need a change. They will understand because they understand it. They do. Yeah. Then there is the adverse effects of that thing that we took in the arm, that those people took in the arm, the stuff in the arm. People are suffering. And the Prime Minister said that the government would take care of those who were injured by that thing they took in the arm and anybody who died from that thing they took in the arm. And a lot of people, their medical bills, they're sending me their medical bills. Some of them lost relatives and nothing. They've been writing the Prime Minister and not a word from her. We want a better healthcare system. We're going to show you a little clip that has been passing around by someone from the diaspora, a nurse in the diaspora. We're going to discuss that. Better working conditions for teachers and students. Those are all the things that we're marching for. That's what we're marching for. And every time that we march, they see a belt. They're scared of this. Numbers. You hear me? Let there be 500 up there. So it's Saturday at 10 o'clock. Massey Car Park, Kensington Oval. Be early because, you know, we move early. Be early. And when you're coming, bring a contribution. If you are able to, bring a financial contribution for the march. Okay? You know how we do it. You guys make sure that there's no debt. When these marches are over, we don't have to pay. We don't owe anybody a thing. We don't owe anybody anything. By tomorrow, I'll tell you how much exactly we have left back from the last event that we had. Right? And we don't overtax you. As soon as we collect what we need to collect, we stop asking you because things hard. So we understand that. But you walk with something if you are able to. Right? For the marches, we'd like to have the little van again for those who are not able to walk the journey. Only for those who are not able to walk the journey. If you're sick and you want to be out there, we're going to try to get that van for you again. All right? So big things happening.
I just want to touch briefly on something that bothered me to the core. I picked up the newspaper and I saw our absentee Prime Minister giving a speech at the opening of Haman's Market. So far, no problem with that. The problem comes when the Prime Minister did not have the time to spend a few minutes at the estimates, when the estimates is about the money that the government wants to spend on when the year comes. So unless the parliament approves money for the government, it can't spend any money. And you have to account to the parliament for that money that you are spending. And the prime minister, who had the third highest amount of money to spend, did not come and tell anybody where she's going to spend one red cent, or explain to anybody why she's spending this amount and who she's going to spend it on and where she's spending it. Education, health, prime minister, in that order. Or health, education, prime minister. But the prime minister is spending the third highest amount of money of government funds in this coming financial year, and then and didn't have the respect or the decency to turn up and explain to the people of Barbados, this is what I'm going to do with your money. But she had the time to go down there and open up Hammond's Market and smiling all over her face. And what I noticed in the crowd, they had one black person in the crowd. Well, two, prime minister and somebody else there with their heads up in the bob. And that's the only way, because she was a light-skinned black. So you really didn't know that she was black until you could see her hair. You know? That troubles me too. You know? I am troubled by things like that. Where she find it, and people can call me racist and all, because you can talk what you like. Everybody knows that I'm not racist. But she find it more convenient and more appropriate to spend time opening a venue for white people, hosted by white people, than she had time to spend with the black people of Barbados telling her we can spend your money. She feels this is where she is comfortable. This is where she looked relaxed. You know? Well, she didn't have Ralph Torn down there, so she could have been relaxed. It speaks of disrespect of the people of this country. How dare you refuse to come to the most important debate of the year? Because without the SMS, government can't spend any money. If the government is not approved for that, the people in the United States, they may explain it to them who they understand. You see, when the government shut down because Congress didn't approve any money, that's what will happen in Barbados. The government will shut down. It has never happened, because every prime minister who was Minister of Finance, and Sinclair, who was Minister of Finance, even though he was Prime Minister, which he is as well, they were always there at the estimates. In my experience going back, and the Minister of Finance has never, as far as I remember or recall, missed the estimates. Treat the estimates with such can't respect. You want to go and tell Putin what to do and Netanyahu what to do and the people in Haiti what to do, and you don't want to come and do nothing for Barbados? Well, go and run for those places then. One guy told me, yeah, he noticed this with the only white people on there and not black people there. And the thing is, he was one of the Prime Minister's strongest supporters anywhere in Barbados. And he too was offended by that. He was able to tell me so. I'm not going to call his name because I don't think he want the Prime Minister to know that he vexed with she. But so he was going to tell him himself. But he too was upset that she had time to devote to that exercise. And the thing is with the estimates, right? The estimates are not something that happens suddenly, that you don't know they're going to happen. They must be passed before the end of the financial year, which is the 31st of March. Or like Santi would say, like February the 31st of March. But we know every year the estimates have to be done. It's a constitutional provision. Yeah. It isn't something that you come up with and say, look, let me do some estimates today. You don't have to have those budget speeches that they take a lot of time, and she's going to be there parading and jumping up and keeping all kind of foolish noise about a budget that don't really make no sense, because you can't have no budget unless you have the estimates. And the budget is not the important thing. All the budget is supposed to do is to raise taxes. If people who are my age group or older, but remember, I think it was in 1971 or something like that, when Barrow said that he will have a fireside chat because he didn't have any taxes to raise. Mm-hmm. So he had a fireside chat. It wasn't in the budget. He didn't raise the tax and that kind of stuff like that. So it is not necessary. And something that is absolutely important to the governance of this country, you missing in action. Well, that's me, MIA, missing in action. You see, those things, something like that would be strange to her because she's a spoiled child. Nobody will lick her. She bought some lashes back then. If she has some lashes back then, she'd be frightened. I don't think she's frightened. I think she ain't had the necessary guidance to make her a caring human being, and she is not. No, my you see, anybody that has to advertise and say that I care, you know, that should be seen coming from you. It should not be something that you got to tell people. People should see it. So when you got to go out there and go out there and champion that thing all the time, oh, I care, I care, I care, I care. You don't really care. It is a slogan for you. You can't disrespect the people of this country like that and continue to do so all the time. And the thing is, you have people who will defend it. She is not elected to run Haiti. She cannot continue to disrespect the people of this country and expect us to sit down and take it, because I am one of the people of this country, and I can be if I ain't able to walk, I can be on the truck. I'm
And
talking about Saturday.
the march is like this belt I am raising in my hand. When they see the numbers, and that's what, if you feel disrespected by what the prime minister has done, and I'm telling you, there are a number of them who are also, they know, those people who went and voted for her, they know something is wrong. They know that it's disrespectful.
You cannot, as Minister of Finance, miss the estimates unless you are ill, and it's so ill that somebody has to be sworn in to be the Minister of Finance when you are not right. But you cannot. No, she continued to be Minister of Finance. As a matter of fact, the Prime Minister continues to run this government like it is her own little plaything. She can do what she likes. And somebody has to tell her, Madam, follow the rules, follow the conventions, respect the people of this country. The only people you want to respect are the people down by Haman's Market. That speaks of an inferiority complex. I don't care how big you are and how mighty you are, but when you have to be kissing up to any group, it speaks to an inferiority complex that is not something that you should be proud of, or anybody in Barbados should be proud of. You do not see yourself as equal to them. So when they want you, you bang and go. When the black people want you in Barbados, you are not there. But when you want them, they are there for you, and they vote for you. But when they have issues that the people should be dealing with, you are missing in action. But these people arrange their functions and you fit in. Well, the estimates has been put in place since 1966. So you know that you have to be there around the end of March, before the 31st of March, to do these estimates. You shouldn't have any. The only thing that should prevent the Prime Minister as Minister of Finance from attending the estimates is serious illness or death. And I'm talking about real serious illness too. I'm talking about the COVID. And not only that, the House has passed rules where they can sit virtually. So MPs, members of Parliament, not the Senate, members of the House can appear and give their presentations virtually. So remember that. The Prime Minister has no excuse. As she did in Santo Domingo, the Dominican Republic, she did in France, Timbuktu, as long as they got internet, she could have been at the estimates. It ain't hard. I've seen it done. I've seen other MPs appear in the House according to the amended rules on the computer, virtual. So, Prime Minister, you have everything to be ashamed about tonight. You have no excuse. Time zones, stay up late and do it. If you're out somewhere in Timbuktu or wherever there's a long, or in Vietnam where there's about 12 hours ahead, stay up late. You have the duty to the country, and you are in dereliction of that duty. And it's as serious as that. Well, if I can say that now, lucky for me, Marcia, cybercrime, right, if that were in place now, I'd be looking, the police be knocking at my door because she would feel hurt. That's one to be the one shut us up.
Yes.
So you can go and do your nonsense and nobody says anything about it. Not good enough.
Yeah.
I am appalled, or Peter, whatever the hell it is now, but I am appalled that the Prime Minister could actually have this level of contempt for the people of this country. This is contemptuous.
Folks, this is a very serious thing, and I'm really do hoping that we recognize the significance of this. One of the things that bothers me the most and causes me to open up my computer and come on each night, I hate to see anybody wipe their feet on the Barbadian people. You watch the show and you could tell the things that move me is when there is injustice, when I see people getting hurt. And to have a leader, our leader, deciding that she's not going to be at the estimate, but she's down in Guyana. We see her in Canada, it seems, with Trudeau and all these things pushing it in our faces. And then here in Barbados, she is gone to open a flea market, a white market that, as someone says, has the potential of shutting down what others are doing here on this island. And that's what you're supporting. I don't understand that. I'm hoping that my Barbadian people would have some kind of dignity and love of self and show up on Saturday. Show up on Saturday at 10 o'clock and let the numbers speak to them. And it wasn't just the market that she went to, but the Barbados Labour Party invited the Chinese Communist Party to come to Barbados and to have this special meeting with them in the middle. First of all, it's in the middle of the estimates that they had to break to do this, because this was so important. The Chinese Communist Party, which we're going to show you. Here are the pictures on here, Mr. Franklin, of the Barbados Labour Party, and that's our Prime Minister there. This is last week when the estimate's going on. She's not sick and in a hospital, but she's here meeting with the Chinese Communist Party. Now, what we have to understand is that in China, the Chinese Communist Party is practically the only party. It's a party in government, and they have been in government for years and with no intention of not being in government. The Barbados Labour Party has been in government for 2 terms, and 2 times they won all the seats. Nobody thought about the optics of that. How does that look? They're here in Barbados, Mr. Franklin. There is a party that has won all the seats in government twice, and they took the time out to sit down to invite, not just to sit down, to invite the Chinese Communist Party, not the ambassador of China, not the Minister of Finance of China. The Chinese Communist Party met with the Barbados Labour Party down at their head office on Roebuck Street. That's what the newspaper said. When I got up Saturday morning and I read that entire article, I shudder inside after I started to review what is this Chinese Communist Party? What do they believe in? And I submit to you, after we've shown the video, Mr. Franklin, I am submitting to our audience here tonight that the Barbados Labour Party understands exactly what they're doing. It's part of a plan to ensure that they are the only formidable party and the only party on this island. They have done a number on the other parties. There's some of the parties trying to raise their head, and they can't even raise their head because they must be the dominant party, like the Chinese Communist Party. Do you realize what I'm trying to say to you, Barbados? It wasn't the ambassador, the Chinese ambassador, and we're talking about trade and all of that. It wasn't that. It was a political party. The Chinese Communist Party that they met with, the Barbados Labour Party. It wasn't the government with a party that has an authoritarian government in China. And that doesn't tell you something? By the time they're finished, there'll be no other choice in this country. We will be run just like China. And it made me think, Mr. Franklin, of the article that came out from the UK after we became a republic. What did the article say? That Barbados we're changing masters. And a lot of us doubted it and said, oh, because we're becoming a republic and we're moving away from the UK. That's what UK said. But UK said that they had intelligence. Go back and research online. The UK said they had intelligence, that we were switching allegiance. Ask yourself the question, Barbados. Chinese is an authoritarian, a totalitarian government, a dictatorship run by the Chinese Communist Party. And that is the party that the Barbados Labour Party sat down with at Roebuck Street. Look, the pictures are there.
She was getting lessons from them. You know, because I don't know what, in terms of a party structure or governance of a party, when these our two systems are so far up, they are poles apart. So I don't know what you want to learn from China, if anything at all, other than how to become a one-party state. And I will tell you something. This Barbados Labour Party, they want to destroy every other political party. And you know, the communists in China does not allow any other political party. The government doesn't allow any political party. So she wants the same. So she's getting lessons. Quite right, it's quite correctly. She is getting lessons. And this is something that they stop the estimates for. Something as important as this. This is not the government of. This is not a government function. You know, this is a party function. So the Barbados Labour Party now takes precedence over the government of Barbados. Same thing with China. Their party takes precedence over the government of China. So they're getting lessons. And if Barbadians don't open their eyes and see that we are going down the road, China wanted us to be a republic. I wanted us to be a republic. Everybody wanted us to be a republic, but we wanted to say. And she did it the way the Chinese would do it. Announce it and set a date. Didn't have a constitution. Take the old constitution and make a couple of changes to it and say, oh, this is the constitution and we can do one later. This is what she did to accommodate China. China is now our new colonial master, whether you like it or not.
I'm telling you.
And they're all over the place. But they're counterfeit goods that they send out here.
No, Mr. Franklin, let me show that. I want to show them a little video. It's only a few minutes long, and I hope that the technical person will be able to bring it up on the screen. But this troubled me, Mr. Franklin, when I saw it, because the estimates were interrupted. The Prime Minister was on island, and the Prime Minister found the time to have a meeting with her party, her political party, the Barbados Labour Party, at Roebuck Street with the Chinese Communist Party. I want you to see what they are about. And once you see what they're about, it's going to cause you to think. So why are they here in the middle of the estimates?
China has been ruled by one political party, the Communist Party. The party's leadership is enshrined in China's constitution, and it controls almost every facet of Chinese life. The party is organized like a pyramid. At the grassroots are around 92 million members, about 6.6% of China's total population. Of these, about 2,300 are selected to be delegates at the National Congress of the Chinese Communist Party, which convenes once every 5 years. From within their ranks, the Congress delegates select about 380 to become members of the Central Committee. And members of that committee select the Politburo. The size of the Politburo varies with each leader. There are currently 25 members. A handful of these Politburo members are selected to serve on the Standing Committee, which again varies in size depending on who's in charge. Right now, there are 7 members. The most important member of the Standing Committee is the party's top leader, the General Secretary. Since 2012, that's been Xi Jinping. In theory, the party elects its leadership from the bottom up, but in practice, it's the other way around. The lineups of the Politburo and Standing Committee are actually determined through closed-door negotiations and sometimes behind-the-scenes power struggles. Although their power has faded in recent years, party elders have traditionally played a large role in determining who gets a coveted seat, and their election is seen as a formality. At the same time, the Politburo and Standing Committee ultimately decide who is selected to be on the Central Committee. The election of a delegate to the party congress is also considered a formality. The Communist Party cements its rule in China by controlling all aspects of the government. China's top legislature, the National People's Congress, or NPC, has nearly 3,000 seats. But the Communist Party holds about 2/3 of them. The other third are reserved for non-party members, including technical experts and members of 8 other much smaller political parties. But they don't serve as a political opposition. While they can offer diversity of opinion, the very existence of those smaller parties is based on the condition that they accept the Communist Party's leadership. That means there is effectively no official political opposition in China's law-making body and no organized opposition movement in Chinese society. Some Politburo members are also state leaders and ministers in charge of government bodies that officially report to the National People's Congress. The NPC has the right to direct and review the work of these organizations, but the reality is that such authority is more of a rubber stamp in nature than a real supervisory power. The State Council, which is tasked with enacting national policy and supervising all government departments, is led by the Chinese Premier, who is also a member of the Politburo Standing Committee. The Central Military Commission is chaired by the party's General Secretary, giving the Communist Party direct leadership over the world's biggest military. Like other branches of government, China's judiciary is confirmed by the NPC. But it's the party's Central Political and Legal Affairs Commission which supervises the courts, and that's chaired by a member of the Politburo. At least on paper, the Communist Party operates on the principles of democratic centralism. That means policies are discussed, debated, and then voted on in a democratic way. But everyone must accept and follow the result, not work against it. What's not transparent is exactly how democratic this process is. Discussions and debates on policies happen behind closed doors, and it's hard to say how much internal debate really takes place, or whether party members simply go along with initiatives from higher up the chain. Loyalty and stability are essential to the party's leadership. They say that without those factors, development isn't possible. As a result, the party does its best to control public opinion. Mainstream media is used to promote party policies. Everything from encouraging people to abide by coronavirus social distancing guidelines to the number of children they can have. The internet and social media are heavily censored through China's Great Firewall and an army of censors who police the web, removing politically sensitive or subversive content. China blocks sites like Facebook and Twitter, while allowing access to Chinese-made and controlled sites like Weibo. The most important thing to the party is loyalty, be it in politics, business, and even entertainment. The Central Commission for Disciplinary Inspection enforces allegiance from within the party's ranks by maintaining discipline and adherence to party doctrine, increasingly through rule by law. Both inside and outside the party, people deemed to have been disloyal, including many activists, have been silenced, detained, placed under house arrest, or thrown into prison. Some disappeared for months or years before it was known what happened to them. Critics highlight such persecution as violations of human rights, but the party insists that's not the case. It says these prosecutions are in line with Chinese law and that anyone who falls foul of the law will be punished. The party's leaders say progress that benefits the population takes precedence over individual liberties, and love for China equates to love for the Communist Party.
Wow. Mr. Franklin, did you hear, were you listening? I was listening and taking some notes on that. And that is quite scary, and that is the party that our leader took the time out. Actually, she wasn't even attending the estimate. She's on island. But they are the Barbados Labour Party. They planned this in the middle of the estimates, and they sat down with this party, right? A party. Remember now, they remember they won all the seats, 2 elections in a row. What do you really think that they're planning and that they plan to do? Sitting down with the Chinese Communist Party. Well, over to you, Mr. Franklin.
They want to make sure that they were always in power. Because right now, the Prime Minister has lost a lot of popularity, even among some of her formerly strong supporters. Some of them are complaining about her behavior. So she will not get a clean sweep again, and she wants it. So she go for lessons to the Chinese. They disrespect this country. I don't say that if the Chinese party came here, but the Chinese party come here, they can't take precedence over important government business, but they did. And why? Because they want to learn from them. Barbadians, open your eyes, or one day you wouldn't have any rights and powers. And this is the same party. See, she likes hobnobbing with dictators. She liked Daisy's about to say who killed people in Suriname and no hiding from going to prison. She liked the guy from Rwanda. You know, she wants the Chinese. She wants all of these people who are dictatorial people around her. That's what she wants to be. No, she's like Trudeau, even though he was elected, but he's behaving so. That is the type of behavior that she wants to encourage and wants to learn from. You can't speak up against the party. And this is what the cybercrime bill will stop you from doing. If you speak up against anything and they get hurt feelings, you're in jail for 7 years. I can't get jail for 7 years. Now you're too old for jail for 7 years. I come back out, I'll be an old man.
I was saying that this is happening in Nigeria, and this is one of the things that we're going to be marching about on Saturday, Mr. Franklin, at 10 o'clock. You have to come down there. We have almost 1,000 people, when 990 something on all of the platforms. Listen, folks, we need to, it's very, very important that we come down on Saturday at 10 o'clock. We have to send a strong message. We have to send a strong message. Let this be the biggest march ever. Let this be the largest numbers. Call your neighbors. Talk to your people at work. We have to come out. We got to stand up for this country. In that video, we saw that there was no organized opposition. No opposition. That's why she is mad with what happened with Ralph Thorne. And many of you say, oh, Marcia is supporting Ralph Thorne, whatever. I told you, what am I supporting? I am supporting the concept of an opposition. I don't care if you name Thorne Ralph or Ralph Thorne or Mary Sue or whatever the name is. Okay? Especially when you have the Barbados Labour Party sitting down and speaking with the Chinese Communist Party. Let me tell you, without apology, I'm going to support anybody that is in the opposition. I will, because it is an extension of what that person is, an extension of what we stand for. So you can go ahead and say, I am part of whatever party. Do whatever you want to say. I tell you this now, for the love of this country, I will support whoever is in the opposition, because the intention of this government is to stay in power forever. Did you hear in the video? The Chinese Communist Party, they have no organized opposition. Okay, they control everything that is happening in the country is controlled through the internet and social media. They also, Mr. Franklin, prosecute all opposition, all opposing voices are prosecuted or killed. You understand? If the cybercrime bill...
if you remember in 1989, Tiananmen Square, they shot down people who were protesting peacefully. They used tanks on peaceful protesters. I remember the images vividly. You know, I was still a young fellow then, but much younger. I'm still young though, but this is what we want to join, because we want the money. Chinese got a lot of money. and we want to prostitute ourselves to places like China and whoever has got money. We prostitute ourselves to people who want to experiment on us, and now we are seeing the results of those experiments. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, someone is saying Tyrone Blackman. I will need to research his time out. He's asking a question, not making a statement. So, he's asking if the Chinese Communist Party didn't help Trudeau to win the last election. That's something. If you have time, anybody to research that. We've got everybody. We have to get working here. You understand? And because we have to break up this little dolly house. These partnerships need to break up. Huh? These need to break up. That's why they're spying on people and in people's phone and tapping people's phones inside of here. Because they have all of these, they employ some little Chinese man here to be doing that. They kept him on from the election. He's still here. Tapping all they're doing is tapping people's phones and getting into people's business. Because what they're trying to do, they want a one-party state. That is what they're trying to do, to create a one-party state in Barbados. This is very, very, very serious. And if you don't think if you think I'm making it up, go and research the Chinese Communist Party, because some of you all say all we do is propaganda. Go and research it yourself, and see what is happening. I tell you this: the Barbados Labour Party wants a one-party state in this country. That's what they want. And that's why they are taking notes and meeting in the middle of the estimate with the Chinese Communist Party, because they have been doing that for decades in China.
The Democratic Labour Party in opposition, they now have a member in the House. The rules for providing subsidies to the political party was that you had to have a member in the House. Now Ralph is in the House and he's a member of the political party. They say, oh, but he was not always a member of the party, but he wasn't elected in that party. They make rules as they come to find a way not to pay out the money. And it's only $150,000, but it's significant because I remember many times, as I tell you, I was an assistant secretary of the Barbados Labour Party. And I was called upon by the office manager to speak to my friend who was a competent at Parliament, because we went to school together. And to ask him about sending across the money, that because the Barbados Labour Party needed it to pay wages and all kind of stuff, because that was money is for to help run the office and pay wages and that kind of thing. They used to get it in two tranches, 75,000, not 7,500, 75,000, and then the next tranche you get the next tranche the second half of the year. That money was only supposed to be 150,000 provided for the political parties. So they had $300,000 put down, and when they didn't get any, when the Barbados the party get all the seats, they decided they can keep all the money. So they gave Ramadi any. He financed the People's Party out of his pocket. Since they had nobody to receive it, it should have gone back to the House. Barbados the party get all 300,000, and now they can do the same thing over again. I remember well. I was telling you about the time when the office manager called me and asked me to talk to my friend who went to school with me to see if he can send across the money on time. And to our surprise, the money was delivered, received, and placed in somebody's account, not the Barbados Labour Party's account. I think George Payne was chairman, and it wasn't his account either. As a matter of fact, he questioned why it was in somebody else's account. How a check marked Barbados Labour Party could get into somebody's account. I am not saying who got the money or who put it in their account, because I don't know if George Payne would come out and testify for me. So I ain't going, and then I would get something up my tail. But I remember the money didn't go where it was supposed to go. Yeah. $150,000. Now, you look at the Barbados Labour Party office, man, it gets spruced up. I've never seen it looking so nice. To the Chinese, I'm looking at going had carpet and all kind of thing. I was surprised. I said, but that's Barbados Labour Party thing, that, because I was around there for a long time. Never. So they want to impress the Chinese. They want to get the Chinese money, and they want to sell us out. I don't understand. If you come into the country, you should be to help run the place. You should be looking to do something for the country, not to establish yourself as a big McGuffey, riding roughshod over everybody in the country. No, 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 no. That governance is not about you. It is about what you can do for the people of this country. At least that's what it was supposed to be. Because right now, the people of this country is not being well served by the majority of the people, if not that elected. I say majority, no, because Ralph was saying and Sonia Brown was starting to speak up. But there's so many things that's going wrong in this country, and you say that I'm representing the constituents of whatever constituency it is, and you're speaking on their behalf. You are not speaking on their behalf. You are speaking on Mayor's behalf, because so many things are going wrong, and you are sitting down and voting aye because you want to hold on to the little minister pick. That is why Mayor bought most of them with minister picks, because she said, I don't ever forget this, people. She said Barbados don't need any more than 12 ministers when Frandl was prime minister. And then immediately after Frandl demits office, she get 26. Not 24, 26, more than double what Frandl had. More than she said that Frandl should have, because Frandl had 17, including himself. And she said it should be 12. But then she went and get 26. And she said many hands make light work. Many hands in this case don't make light work. There's no work for the many hands to do, because Barbados is run by a civil service that they have gone and destroyed, creating things like BRA, so that the minister will be able to control BRA, so that when you got so much thieving going on, you got, instead of calling the police directly, you got to call the minister first, because minister should not be getting involved in that. Any money missing from a government department, you don't call the minister, you call the director of finance and the commissioner of police. Them is the people to call. The minister will hear about it later. But all of a sudden, we want all these statutory boards. I mean, you put them together and you got them controlling all that kind of money. That's why you first could keep so much. Bruh.
If the technical person, we want to see the Nigeria, what is the ridiculousness of their cybercrime bill, because they have passed a similar bill in Nigeria. And what is happening, Mr. Franklin, is that right now there is a young mother. A young mother was arrested in Nigeria for writing a review about a tomato paste. So she bought the tomato paste, and Eriso tomato paste. And this is one of our loyal opposition members that sent this to me early this morning. And this Nigerian mother faces cybercrime charges for tomato paste review. The owner, Mr. Franklin, of this company said that, guess what? They were offended. They were hurt with what she wrote. She said that the tomato paste, because you know they use this a lot in their jollof rice, that the tomato paste was sweet. It wasn't what she expected. And he was able to use that bill. Because of that bill, police went and arrested the woman. And this is creating a big on Nigeria Twitter in that country, creating a big stir in Nigeria, where the woman was arrested. I guess she's out on bail now. And this is what we're trying to say to you guys. This is why coming out on Saturday is important. If the cybercrime bill is passed, they know very well this show will never be. You can't put anything on Facebook. You are at the mercy of these people, whether they want to lock you up or not. You could be like this Nigerian mother. It's crazy. When you go search online, and you will see in Nigeria, they're locking up journalists who write an article criticizing or asking questions. And all the person responsible, the government official, if they say, I feel offended, I am hurt, they locked up those journalists. I read it today. They locked up the journalists. They spent a night in jail, and they had to get bail the next day. And they now have court cases. And this is why what we're saying to you, remember they told us they're coming back to us in 3 months. It's a month, about 4 weeks have gone already. So it's another 2 months. What are we going to do in between there? That's why Saturday is so important. Saturday at 10 o'clock, Massey Car Park there in Kensington. We have to keep the voice strong about this cyber bill. A lot of us will be in jail. I would not be able to speak on here like this Caswell couldn't speak. Hemar couldn't speak. None of the panelists, Maxine McLean couldn't speak on here. We will be locked up. You understand that? And you will be locked up too. You can't put these messages, these things that you're putting on here, you commenting. March, Barbados, march, 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 march. Keep it strong, keep it loud. That cybercrime bill and those sections in the bill, Barbadians, listen to me clearly. It should never see the light of day. It should never happen in Barbados. And when you combine that, Mr. Franklin, with the communist, the Chinese Communist Party, you understand what time of day this is. We are going into full-blown dictatorship. That's what they want in this country. Mr. Franklin, I want to just, there's a parent here that is asking for support, asking for others, whether you have the same kind of thing Mr. Franklin is talking about, you know, representation. They're saying that the parents at the Lester Vaughan school, that they have not been given any updates on the situation. This father, we have a voice note that is going around that we're going to play. The father is saying, Mr. Franklin, that they have been out of school now. This is going into 3 weeks, and up until now they have not heard any update from the Ministry of Education. So as I said, we are a voice for those persons who believe that they need help in amplifying their voice. And let's just play this voice note that this brave father you know, presented to us, and then let's have a discussion on it. Go ahead, please.
Morning, parents. Morning. Hi, my name is Ron. I am a parent of a boy going to Lester Vaughan's, also a third farmer. Now, I noticed that no one is answering any questions pertaining to this school. Right? The boy they're trying to find out nothing. Now, I spoke to Sheena yesterday. Tell me she's trying her best, right? And she ain't getting the support that she need to find out what's going on. Now, if y'all remember back in late 90s, early 2000s, the government of Barbados shut down Louis Lynch Secondary, right? And nobody didn't want to deal with the real issue then, that the problem was coming from the laundry. Them rather shut down a school than to close a business. Now, if any of y'all are past students of the Lester Vaughan School, I believe some of you all might be, you know. When you look back at the school was there for 6 years, 6 to 7 years before bees recycling went to that school. I had fortune to interview a good few people that went to Lester Vaughan's, and none of them didn't tell me that they had no type of environmental issues or anything of the sort at that time when there was going to Lester Vaughan's. From the time bees put there, all sorts of things started to happen. Now, mind you, I ain't got nothing personal against bees. This ain't a vendetta or nothing. But from what I'm seeing here, the same thing like it heading the direction as Louis Lynch, where these people are going to shut down a school to please a business. Now, this is my cry this morning to y'all, right? We got to stop laying people on fear with children and just put it as a note, you know? This is 3 weeks. This week here, I'm going to make 3 weeks that these children are going to be home doing online classes, right? I know some of y'all might got jobs during the day that when I can't really stop home and supervise when the children and thing. That is understandable, you know? Then you got some that actually can stay at home and deal with the kids, right? Now I'm a home business person. My business is run from at home, so I could deal with mine, you know? But it's a little bothering that this is the 3rd week dining and nobody from the ministry and step forward and say nothing where the school is concerned. They ain't say nothing where the children is concerned, you know? Now, she didn't tell me she tried to answer a question and nobody can tell she nothing. Nobody ain't got an idea, and she should be knowing, right? So the shot and shield. I went to the Ministry of Education on Friday, And the thing about it is that the highest person in the ministry of education I could have speak to on Friday was the receptionist because nobody else was there. Now, a scene happened at Parkinson School last week, Monday, Tuesday. Can't remember the exact day. Everybody went to a meeting on Friday to deal with that. This thing with Lester Vaughan's happened over 3 weeks ago. Why we ain't hearing nothing? Why we ain't knowing nothing? I wonder if we can just sit down and let these people do the same thing that they do to the Louis Lynch children. Send them home, put them in different schools, break up a whole school simply because of business can continue to run. We're not doing it on personal investigations and see for ourselves. Before bees went there on the spot, we didn't have any problems at this school. I mean, I personally don't know the history of the school that way. I had to investigate. But I want you all to look at what's going on, right? And don't just sit down and take this. Because the parents at Louis Lynch and the boy didn't come out for them children either. You know what I mean? If we don't come out and represent we children here, you understand? Some of them might got children that ain't fit for them and telling us, oh, well, that my last year, I ain't got to care, I ain't got to worry. But it ain't only for this school, right? It ain't only for this school. It's for all the schools in Barbados. You understand? The system that I went to school in as a child is the same system that is going on. We don't have no janitors to clean these schools. We don't have, right now is a horrible situation. The same way how the schools was when I was a child, they are today, right? In 2024, right? The school system should be more advanced than where it is right now. And we're allowing the government to railroad this system and treat it as them personal puppet. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, they're going to close down bees. I mean, they're going to close down the school if we don't be careful to allow bees to continue. And nobody is speaking of that there. That plant went there and problems start. Why we can't see it? Why nobody ain't seeing it? I would like you all to wake up and let me see what we could do for our children. Because at the end of the day, if a country ain't dealing with the youth, they ain't got no future. Thank you very much. I would appreciate it if you all would just get up and let me do something. There's something that we could do. We could go to the school. We could demand answers. We could march in the ministry. We could demand answers. We could make them speak to us and tell me what it is that really going on. What's the secret? Because a well can't cause this problem. You understand? A well can't cause this problem. One well can't cause a whole school to close down. You understand? So I don't know if you all want to take it as that, but headaches, not being able to breathe properly, and these sort of things. Let me look right above. Let's look right above by bees plant. Let me look right above there. You understand? For those that care to respond, let me get a dialogue going on and let me see if we can organize and get our children sorted. Because these is we children. You understand? These is prime ministers and presidents and future police and some of everybody, doctors, lawyers. It's like that's who we're dealing with. So let me see if we can work out something and get a dialogue going, people. Thank you all very much. For those that listen, thank you all. You understand? Let me contact Sheena. Let me deal with Sheena. She's the president of the PTA. Let me get behind her. Let me stand behind she, because at the end of the day, she dealing with children. She's the boy that running certain thoughts. So please, let me get together, people. Let me get together.
I heard it, and I thank the loyal opposition member who sent this to me. Really appreciate it. Remember, we are not we're not environmentalists on here or any such thing. But this father is raising this concern, and so this is what we do. We are going to amplify what he's saying. We're going to use this platform and amplify what this father is saying. Interesting that this parent went down to the ministry. He's a father. We complain and we say that the fathers are not standing up. Fathers are not doing this. Fathers are not. Well, here is a father. Another father, like the father who went by the Ministry of Education in his pampers. Remember that? Standing up for his child. He has a student in class 3, this particular father here. And he's standing up for his child. And we need to stand with him. A lot of us, because our children are not at Lester Vaughan and we don't have children in school anymore, we don't even care about it. But we need to care. As he said, these might be future leaders of the country. Yeah. So this is quite important. Mr. Franklin, do you have any thoughts on this?
I have a lot of thoughts on it. As a matter of fact, I now represent the majority of the ancillary staff at Lester Vaughan School. And what I can tell you is his concerns are not valid. It has nothing to do with bees recycling. It has everything to do with the school and the environment and the school compound. This report, I just look at my bag. I don't have all the reports, but this one was done for Karen Best on the 20th of September 2019. This was an environmental study of the school, and this is one done by the Eunice Gibson Polyclinic. It was received by Lester Vaughan School on the 21st of February last year. And there are others, the newer ones I have in the office, but I didn't bring them home because I didn't expect this. Lester Vaughan School has been leaking sewage gas for a long time. What has happened in 2019 under Karen Best, they went and they sealed, at least attempted to seal the manhole covers and stuff, to hope that they will get relief from the sewage gases that were coming out of the wells. That didn't work. It worked for a few days or something like that, and the gases start back smelling all over again in the school. It is only this year, when they did these what they call smoke tests, that the government had to close the school, because even though the wells were sealed, and however they sealed them I don't know, but the express smoke test, you pump smoke into the system, right? Because you can't see the sewage gases; those gases are invisible. But when you pump smoke in, you will see smoke coming through the walls, coming up out the ground, coming through some of those same manhole covers that were reported to be sealed and working. So those smoke tests prove that's why they shut down, because you have all types of gases, ammonia. Mind you, along with all these things, you've got mold and fungi. So gas odors were detected in this glass room. So it has been, you were breathing in ammonia, hydrogen sulfide, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide. So the people in there were getting sick, students and teachers alike. It has nothing to do with bees recycling. What happens when you put down these sewage pipes, but you pass them by a tree, and the tree roots grow and rupture the pipe? So that's where you can see gases coming out of when they put the smoke test now, you can see smoke coming out from the soil, because the sewage pipe would have passed there. The one that passed by the tree, and the tree break up. It coming out of walls, it coming out of manhole covers. That is the big problem that I don't know how they're going to fix it. They might have to go and dig out all them pipes and put down new ones. I don't know what they're going to do. But at the same time, they sent the children home because those gases are deadly. In sufficient quantities, they can kill you. They'll make you sick. You will get lethargy and asthma attacks and tiredness. You name it, you will get it from the gases that is in the school. But they have not acquainted the parents with this, so the parents will speculate it is the environment in the school compound. So much so that they did not allow people to even exercise on the pasture. During the morning and evenings, some of the people in the environment would go and in the neighborhood would walk around the pasture, because it got a nice pasture, and then they walk around there rather than walk on the road. They even stopped them from coming on the compound because of the sewage that is belching all this gases up. I don't know how they're going to fix it. I'm not an expert. I can tell you what the reports say. The reports were not shared with the school, the PTA, or even some of the staff.
So, Mr. Franklin, can I just ask a question on behalf of the parents then? Are you saying that you have a copy or copies of the report that the parents are asking for?
Yes. They didn't ask me, and they don't know what they were asking, because I can share it with them.
They've been going to the Ministry of Education based on what these parents is saying. The PTA president have been asking. So is this, that's what I mean, that they don't hear anything. So if the parents are listening tonight from Lester Vaughan, Mr. Franklin is reading from the report that you're asking about. Go ahead, sir.
staff didn't get these reports, and you are working in the environment and you're not getting the reports, and the government is culpable because people are getting sick, but they don't want to let the staff or the students know because the illnesses could be attributed to the environment at the school, and that would mean costs. So they rather save costs and kill somebody rather than disclose what is happening to the people and get all kind of wild speculations that it is bees. Bees might got a different problem, but I think the gases that these are killing these people. And the guy said that he don't know welcome not here because you know how many people use that bathroom when the day come. The school has environmental problems. They have not done anything so far to fix it. As a matter of fact, only Friday I wrote to the permanent secretary, Ministry of Education, or whatever else they call it, to complain that the ancillary staff are being forced, ancillary and non-teaching staff basically are being forced to turn up on the compound to endure this problem when visitors can't come on the compound. You ask the people who are exercising on the pass, you're not to come because it's dangerous to their health, and you are asking the staff to turn up. So I wrote to the chief education officer, the permanent secretary, Ministry of Education, only on Friday. My letter, I hand delivered it, and I don't know if she shared it with the chairman yet, but I saw a missed call on my phone from him yesterday morning. I ain't calling you back. I want to fix the place and I want people to stop bullying the people at the schools. You know, these people have children. I know them. I talk with them. They're my members. I'm sorry that this happened to the people's children because I wouldn't like it happen to mine. But at the same time, let the blame go where it should. And the blame should go on the gases that is coming out of the system. You are breathing noxious fumes every day. You see, the noxious fumes would kill you if you were in it solely, but it is not enough to kill you right away. So it is a slow poisoning that you're going through working at the Lester Vaughan school. That is why the children are not there, because now we have evidence and they have evidence of what it was or what it is.
Yeah.
So I don't think that school will open anytime soon. They have to find somewhere to keep those gases from permeating into the classrooms and the open areas for the school, because people can't enjoy them, and that he probably spent some money on his daughter or son, whoever it is that he has, not knowing, thinking it might be just ordinary. I think it's not his school. Just like how that school, Louis Lynch School, was killing people, because you had a lot of people who went there and they were sick all the time. A lot of them died from various cancers, and the government will not acknowledge it. Up to now, they won't acknowledge it that these people died. We had a lady a teacher who died from Lodge School recently. They found the mold in her lungs a little bit before she died. The mold that was at the Lodge School. And that's why the Lodge School people started to panic at the beginning of the term when the teacher died, and they discovered that she had some of that same mold. The places are not well maintained, and people get sick from them, and they die. And because the government wants to save liability, or don't want have any liability for them, they don't disclose to the people what is actually happening to them. So they let them go along believing all manner of things that ain't true. And before they at least let the doctors know what these people are going through, so that the doctors at least will make a proper diagnosis. The doctors are doing hit and miss. When the government actually knows what is causing the illness and will refuse to tell people. You know, the thing is, the government is supposed to look out for us, not hide things from us to save government money. But when you take that same government money, get to your friends and have all these consultants and things, and all you got to do is to tell people the truth, you know.
Yeah. You know, Mr. Franklin, as you say that, you know, can you imagine a parent who is listening to you, because remember the parent, this parent is saying the PTA trying to get information. So you mean to tell me that you're telling them more than what the Ministry of Education is telling them? If I
Yeah,
were
well,
a parent and I'm listening to something like this tonight, and to know that my child, what if I had a child there that was going there for 5 years in fifth form now? I mean, all the things that was going through your head. I mean, you dress up your children and you send them to school. And then this is the thing, guys, we trust the government, don't we? We trust the government to take care of our children. But look at this situation. We don't know what's going to happen now. Are these children going to be sick? Will they come up with some diagnosis? What with some disease? What about the teachers? Will they end up like the Louis Lynch teachers and students? We don't know. And there's somebody who messaged me, Mr. Franklin, who is used to work there. I don't know what this means, but they're saying that they used to clean the school. And if they would clean it one night and they go back the next morning, they would see all of these kind of furry things on the desk and on the chairs and those kind of things. I don't know what that means. I'm just telling you what this worker says. But as somebody's asking, VR is saying, can this be cancerous if exposed to prolonged periods? I wish we had an environmentalist that's, or somebody's in the profession to come onto the show and to really go into these, into this, and to really speak to the nation about this. Because as the gentleman says, it's not just the students at Louis Lynch. You can't what I keep saying Louis Lynch, Lester Vaughan. You can't just say okay, it's their children. It's our children too, because we don't know what they would grow up to become in Barbados, and regardless, it's a life. So we need to be concerned about that. So if you are out there and this is your profession, or if anybody knows anybody who is in that profession, who will be able to break this down for us, these reports that Mr. Franklin is speaking from, I would like to get in contact with you and for you to come on the show and to just give us facts about what could possibly happen to our children as a result of this.
This is September 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And they had interviews with some of the people at the school. I will not read names. On the 26th of September 2018, this company visited Lester Vaughan Secondary School, and interviews were conducted with principal acting and a teacher regarding reported complaints from members of staff and students who occupy classrooms and rooms in blocks B and E.
Yeah.
Upper respiratory discomfort while in the work environment. It was reported that some members of staff who visited blocks B experienced loss of their voice, burning sensation in the back of their throat, dry throat and mouth without a sinus drip, feeling of a lump in their throat when trying to swallow, itchy eyes and skin, lightheadedness, vertigo, and lethargy. It was also reported by the teacher and confirmed by other members of staff that the teacher who teaches in Block B will not venture into the block space because she experienced vertigo, nasal and sinus drips immediately followed by loss of her voice. Some students who occupy a classroom in Block B were interviewed, and they reported experiencing sore odors during the morning periods and sometimes in the afternoon. During our visit, some of the members of staff who experienced upper respiratory discomfort while the work environment were not at work. Our team was still wish to interview these individuals, blah, blah, blah. All right. This is a report that took place the report was given in 2019. All right. The interviews were to show you the seriousness of this thing. The report was done and presented to the school on the 20th of September 2019. 19 September. And but the interviews were done on the 26th of September 2018. So you can see the priority that they put.
Mr.
Right?
Franklin, pause there because we need to make this clear to the parents who are watching. If listen, if you know a parent from Lester Vaughan, send them this link right now. This is serious. We're talking about children's lives here, teachers' lives, people, and they interviewed people, and it took them 1 year, 1 year, and that's my problem with this government. Regardless of who is in power, people, we cannot treat each other like this. 1 year.
It shows the seriousness that the government places on these issues because the individual members of staff and the children didn't have any evidence, only speculation. So they ignore their speculation, so to speak. And you can imagine now having teachers that don't have a voice, but teachers must have a voice. Teachers must have a voice. I remember Sonia Brown going into the House of Assembly and losing hers very quickly. And they had to gut the House of Assembly, put people up in the Clecore building up in Worthing to get the house fixed. But that didn't take the kind of time that they did with Lester Vaughan. At least they had some place that's to go. And they also could have done their house business online. But unfortunately, a lot of these children don't have the devices. And some that were given the devices, they can't log on to Google that they get from the Chinese. Chinese gave us. I gotta be careful. You gotta be careful with the Chinese, because when it was a senator, they also gave me a device too. And that device, I refused to use it. I didn't trust them. I bought my own. And I as a matter of fact, the one that I bought, I'm talking to you on now. And then a senator took his to get checked, and they found spyware on the devices that they gave us. I understand they get them from China. So you gotta be careful what the Chinese doing for us. The Chinese would have known every keystroke that you put on that iPad. And that is what sorry, but I had to go back to show you what the Chinese and the government was doing. So I just tied them both into the whole thing. The children can't. So that even the children devices were a little cheap, lousy stuff that they give to us, and we out there so jumping up and shaking hand and saying praises to people who give us garbage.
Mr. Franklin, my mind is just on those children right now and on those parents. This is real. This is a real thing. And a lot of, at first when I heard about it, of course, I was thinking about those who have exams and so on. But now these parents need to really get their children checked out. Because sometimes we focus on just the academics. You have to think about your child at this point. You are, all of the PTA meeting. You need to, the PTA, continue to call your meetings. Your meetings need to be large. Right now, every parent needs to turn up for PTA meeting. I don't have a child there, but I feel for those parents. How would I feel today hearing this? And why weren't parents told this?
Government don't want you to know because they may go pay out some money.
They keep doing this kind of thing against people. I remember when this government was in the opposition with Combamere, when they manufactured, when it's alleged that they manufactured the issue at Combamere School, and the way they carried on about that issue at Combamere. And now that people are speaking about it, it's almost like we're not supposed to. I mean, you would think that this government, of all the people, of all the governments, would be standing up for our children and our teachers, the principal. Can you imagine? All of those teachers need to go and get checked. All of those children need to go and get checked. And we are going to not say anything because it's not our children. Listen to me. Levy march. Levy march about Lester Vaughan as well. We are tired of this ill treatment. And we put a big old monument in the middle of town for over $3 million. Huh? And they're going to talk about you don't have money to fix the plant. That's what the Minister of Education said. They don't have money to fix the plants. And you just spent $3 million. You made me feel like I want to take a bit of something and mash up in there. I won't do that. The police don't come for me. But no, as a mother, it's annoying when you think about that. It just to think that you spent money on concrete and steel and have gases emitting from a school. As Mr. Franklin says, something not right upstairs.
No, this is a report that was done on Wednesday, January 11th, by the people at the Eunice Gibson Polyclinic. In one room, laboratory results for alleged mold infestation in B1 music room at the Lester Vaughan School. I don't know if you can see it. These are what they found. Let me put it up here for you.
Yeah, but where is it?
This is one room. If I call the big words wrong, forgive me. But this is one. This is in the music room, and they took swabs, and they sent them to the best the Santos Public Laboratory, and below are the laboratory results, test results. Front of the AC unit, they had some culture. They had a fungal culture. They all do all this fungal culture, and it found Aspergillus species. The back they had Aspergillus. This some cello stick thing they use. This is no fungal growth. The back wall they had Scopularisosis or whatever that is species. Then they had the blue drum the blue bear's drum and cloth. You had Penicillium species, and then they had some other thing, Trichoderma species. And they tell you, I don't know, I can't call them big words. And then, but they said the following have symptoms of the following are have symptoms of prolonged mold exposure: rashes, fatigue, aches and pains, chronic sinus problems, nose bleeding, sore throat, skin infections, mold-induced asthma, watery eyes, neurological problems, hypersensitivity, pneumonitis, nausea and vomiting, and allergic bronchopulmonary aspergillosis. Hope I got that right. But
Yeah.
these are the things that could be the results from the test that you could get from the problems of breathing in these things in the school. Mind you, this was done on the 11th of January and received at Lester Vaughan School on the 21st of February. So not bad. Not a year this time. All right? But these people
Yeah.
were going through these things for years. Government knows. Government secreted this information from the public. Thank God there's one other union in Barbados that is not bought by the Barbados Labour Party, and that is the Barbados Union of Teachers. And they insisted on the smoke test. And when the smoke tests come out, smoke come from all over the place like a oil sugar factory. And that's when they have no choice but to shut it down. Because you can't ask people to go in there, because if smoke is coming through and the gases were coming through too. And you know what the gases were, a lot of which are deadly.
Mr. Franklin, I am so glad that we brought this up tonight. Thankful for that parent, that brave parent who started to ask questions, and that this could come out tonight, sir. God bless you. On behalf of these parents, I am just moved. I am moved listening to this, and this is wrong. This is deceit. This is wickedness. This is lies. This is corruption. This is a type of corruption. This is them hiding this information and not speaking to the parents. Again, it's another of those situations because somehow they think we are dumb. They think that we that it wouldn't come out. This is a small place. Everybody who's listening, send this to a parent at Lester Vaughan, please. Send it to a teacher. Send this information, this show. This is so important. They don't want the public to know. This prime minister is going to come from her her travels and whatever, and she's now in Barbados, and she's going to bring a budget to stand up before us to say what? To say what? When there's no regard for us nor our children? To say what? What are you saying to us? You're gonna come with all these flowery things. What are you gonna say to us? Can we get an environmentalist to come on the show? Is there anybody who can who is into the science field, who can look over these reports and to really let's have a sit down and educational session? We are crying out for that, please. Can someone come on? You don't have to show your face if you don't want to show your face. Because some of these people, Mr. Franklin, are so scared to come out. But we need this. We need those professions now. Are you a professional in this area? Even if you don't live in Barbados, you might be in the diaspora. Somebody in the diaspora might know someone who would be able to come in and to go through this for us.
The gases that come from the wells. There's a note here. It says all the identified wells were tested for possible sewer gas venting. Sewer gases including carbon monoxide, nitrogen dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, ammonia, and methane. These are the gases that you get coming up with these sewage. This is what the sewage gases consist of. Right? Methane could explode. If there's a buildup of methane and you strike a match, it's good night, nurse. We will see you on the other side. In 2018, there's a note here that says the well near rail in the quadrangle was venting nitrogen dioxide, carbon monoxide. Readings increase after rainfall. Somebody says methane gets you high too. If you get blood sky high with it as well too. These things, and the people claim that they sealed this stuff off, okay? They were not sealed, or they were not sealed properly, because quickly thereafter, as a matter of fact, not quickly thereafter, the smells never stopped, despite people claiming that they sealed them, and there was no venting of gases. So when the smoke test that was insisted by the Barbados Union of Teachers, so if there's any accolades or there's anybody that deserves any praise, or it was the Barbados Union of Teachers, because they stuck to their guns. They said we want smoke test. Without the smoke test, you wouldn't be able to see where the leaks were. It is like putting salt water upon a leak by your car tire. You will see where the bubbles going. Smoke test will show where the gases were leaking, because the smoke will come back through those places. And that is what happened, and that is what the government has shut down the place. And rather than come and say, people, look, we have discovered some very troubling things. We need to test the people at the Vaughan school to see if there's any mold in their lungs. Something like, when you got your little brain there developing, and you go through all that fungus, mold, and all these kind of gases, your brain ain't going to develop properly. You ain't going to learn well. And people think because the school ain't getting good results is because the teachers can't teach. No, I think because teachers can't teach, because the people teaching in the soup of gases that happen to retard the children. That happened at Louis Lynch School too. I had a relative there, and as soon as that school closed down, and he got out there, but that boy grades shoot up, and he did very well after that. But he was not doing well. He was like a blithering idiot. And when he got out of that school and went to college in Paris, everything took off for him then.
Yeah.
He was very bright in primary school and stuff. Then he went there, and then all of a sudden that bright boy turned into something that you wouldn't well recognize. And then after they closed the school and he was able to move out, that boy took off. So this is what happened. This is what happens to people's children on an ongoing basis, especially at Leicester Vaughan, when you know that this is where the problems are coming from. And government will allow those children to stay in there, knowing that these things can happen to them. This government needs to go, and any government that allow it needs to go too.
The PTA, the entire PTA of Leicester Vaughan needs to be on the street. We will create the placards for you to carry. You can carry your own placards about Leicester Vaughan. We want answers for our children, for our teachers. The teachers are not even paid well, sacrificing so much already, and then now to be worried that they might get sick. They have families too. They have little ones too. They have loved ones too. This is not right. You should have tested those children from the time 2018 till now. Yeah, everybody should have been tested.
In this report, there was a remediation recommendations. It says all of the wells, septic tanks, and manholes with metal covers should be opened. The cover in the surfaces should be cleaned, then reseated and sealed with heavy grease at least twice yearly. Some of the wells, septic tanks, and manhole walls and the covers were broken. These wells should be checked monthly, and where there are cracks, they should be fixed and or resealed. Now, this was a recommendation from 2019. They had not been doing that. So when there's a little break, so between 2019 and now, what do you expect? You're only lucky that some people you can't even say that because some people might die. You might know what they died from, but they call it COVID. My investigations tell me that these recommendations were not carried out.
That's 5 years ago.
Right, so the body check these things on a monthly basis, and are they done seal these things every 6 months, or as the case may be. This is playing with the lives of our children. When you see the children acting up and getting all bad and fighting with one another, it's all the gases, the thing that they're breathing in.
You know, I don't do well with these things here now. This will affect me to sleeping tonight, to be honest, because children, when it comes on to children, I mean, it's yes, I know about the teachers, but for me, one of the points, you know, it just bothers me that we would entrust you, because those parents are doing what by law what they're supposed to do. The children are supposed to go to school, right? Yeah, and they go and they pay money, they buy uniforms and they buy school bags, and they believe they're doing the right thing for their child. Yeah? That's what they're doing. And then look at this situation, and not even to give them an explanation.
I was actually preparing something for the show, but I wasn't ready to give it to you yet. But I didn't want him to go along and mislead himself and others that it was bees. The bees are the Barbados Labour Party government that is causing this problem to the parents without disclosing the truth. You know, you have a duty of care to the children and the teachers in that school. And when you could allow them to continue in an unhealthy situation and say nothing, that is a serious dereliction of duty that somebody should have to answer for, you know. Because I am sure that in some of these schools, some of the teachers paid with their lives because of the environmental problem, and God knows so many children, because you see the children get sick and you don't know. They blame the doctors and say the doctors don't know what they're doing, but the doctors only know what they're doing when they know what they're dealing with. So and if the doctors don't know that this is what you're going through, and you can't tell them because nobody told you this is what is happening to you. You're going to tell the doctor, so you can say, you can get some drops up in your ears, you can get some drops up in your nose, you get something to smell, and then you go right back in the thing after a couple of days. What do you expect?
I, again, putting out a note there, if you're in the diaspora and you know someone who is an environmentalist, who, if Mr. Franklin can send them, I don't know if he would do it, just the documents so that they can review them and be able to give us, because Mr. Franklin is just reading what is there, but we need somebody now to sit down, a professional to sit down, because if we can't hear it from the government and they're not, this is what they should be doing, they're not doing it, then it is our responsibility to do it. These are our children. Forget those 29. These are our children. We will take care of our children and the parents and the teachers in that school. Okay. We're gonna switch, Mr. Franklin, and I just have a little update on Haiti while the technical person gets a little snippet from a video. But I was, Mr. Franklin, I spoke to someone today from Haiti, who is living in Haiti, not in Port-au-Prince, but I think he's in the north of Haiti, and you know, he says that right now what is needed. He says if CARICOM wants to help, he was saying, you know, you guys, if you want to help, right now they need help with just, they don't have fresh water, right? They want to also do agriculture. They want agriculture. He says, as you know, Haiti is a mountainous country. We must use technology, agricultural technology, for good results. He sent me some pictures of some cassavas, a whole field of cassava, and they need to have a watering system. He says, Mr. Franklin, if they are able in Haiti to provide their own food, they said the land is very, very rich, but they don't have the technology to work the land. They want to be in charge of their own food and not getting handouts, rice, and all these things that come from other countries. They want to grow their own food. And so they need help with technology for food, to create their own food. He said a lot of Haitians have knowledge and capacity to do the right things, right? But they need support on the ground there with agriculture. He said food, and not handout food, not food that come in trucks and they throw it down on the people and a whole lot of beans and these American things and Canadian things. They want to grow their own food. And he's showing me, I have a lot of pictures here of the agriculture they're growing, you know, of the goats, the cattle that but they don't have technology, so they need help. In addition to that, they are very, very upset with what CARICOM is seeking to do. Well, what they were seeking to do in sending in these troops. And luckily, thankfully for our soldiers, they said that they will wait. And I hope that the whole thing will be abandoned and that we would not have to send any troops to Haiti. What they need is equipment. What they need is technology. What they need is to feel a sense of independence and stop giving them handouts. They want to help themselves. That's what the people in Haiti are saying. I know what we're hearing on the media, in the American media, in the Canadian media, in the UK media. But when you talk to the people there, they are saying, listen, we want to help ourselves, right? Let's just listen to this Haitian professor, and I'm going to give you her name very, very soon. And she is responding to CARICOM and what CARICOM is doing. So let's hear her.
From a new republic, so it stayed the same system, but staffed with new people.
Yeah, they would change. And the other thing is they did not. This is the U.S. doing Jim Crow. They did not want a black country as a state. They would never. And they would take the land without the people any day. But that place was too populous, right? Haiti still remains the most populous nation in the Caribbean after Cuba, right?
How many million now?
Well, about 13 million.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's the biggest country in CARICOM, which is why Haitians are so incensed that these little countries think they can tell us what to do, right? I mean, Haiti makes up more than 50% of the population of CARICOM countries. And CARICOM hated Haiti. They didn't want to have anything to do with Haiti until CARICOM is 50 years old. Haiti just became a member of CARICOM in 2002.
Before that, Haiti didn't want it. Didn't want to join because
Haiti tried to, but I think that Haiti's the only country in the Caribbean that fought for its freedom. The others were given their freedom, right? I mean, even Jamaica, its highest court is still in London, right? The Vichy Council in London, right? And so they're still not an independent republic. They're still, they're a Jamaican state. But so all these other, and then the Francophone countries, none of them are independent. They're just French territories, outside, right? And so, but there's also all the stereotypes, right? Because these images that the Western press is putting out that Haitians are eating white people and beheading and raping and doing all of this stuff and using voodoo, the religion. And so there's always been an anti-Haitianism throughout the Caribbean, and that you see reflected over and over again. And CARICOM always had, their British and French sensibilities, never wanted to have anything to do with these Africans, because Haiti is still African. We spoke a very different language. We did not speak French. We spoke Creole, and they didn't know what to do with our religion. And one of the CARICOM leaders when asked to bring in Haiti, this is as late as like I think the mid-90s, where it's just like, well, we don't have enough time and money and energy to translate everything into their language, things like that, and these people are so culturally different from us. Why would we want them as part of this union? Which is why, if I were to run Haiti, the first thing I would do right now is remove our membership from CARICOM.
That's a very interesting statement. So you saying CARICOM and the other Caribbean nations are actually also ideologically very much captured?
Well, yeah, we call them neo-colonial Caribbean nations because the truth is there's a tendency to look to Europe, and the CARICOM that we have now doing everything on behalf of the U.S. They're acting as stooges of the U.S. You see that all their leaders are U.S. darlings, from Mia Mottley, who's acting now on behalf of the U.S. in Haiti. But Mia Mottley is like a third generation politician who's the darling of the neoliberal West, and she's doing all this because she's been promised the next Secretary Generalship of the UN. So that's what she's working towards. The West loves her, and so yeah.
I mean, this is a Haitian professor. And these are her opinions, and she, obviously she's feeling the pain of her country, the rejection of her country, because as you would know, they're part of CARICOM, but kind of not part of CARICOM. She's Jemima Peer. She's Professor Jemima Peer, or Dr. Jemima Peer. Okay, Pierre. I need to say Pierre. And she nailed the whole thing on the head about our leader. She's nailed it that she's siding with the U.S. and called out the neocolonialism of our CARICOM leaders, really, because they don't include Haiti in anything, but they expect that the country is going to, whether we agree with her, she says Haiti's 13 million people, but these are the small countries want to tell Haiti what to do. Mr. Franklin, any thoughts on that?
Well, I don't know a lot about Haiti. I only know what I don't have any personal knowledge. Only what I know is what I read, and I know that Haiti is very rich, and the resources. Right now, I am being told that one of the largest embassies in the world, the fourth largest embassy in the world, United States Embassy, is in Haiti. Because they got this big compound and they're extracting the minerals from the ground down there. They're robbing. Even the United Nations people are going there and they got truckloads of material. You don't sift they dig the things out the dirt. You bring all the dirt with you, so left the ground barren. And so all what is happening in Haiti is that these resources should not be in the hands of black people. And of course, who go and address white people before they go and deal with black people in Barbados. So she's taking her racial hatred elsewhere too, or her bias. Not say hatred, because she is more in tune to those people. She takes those instructions. She looks up to them. I tell you already, she must be able to look across at people, not up. And for our leader to be so mendicant and begging, begging the people out there in the world, they're gonna extract a price, and the price is your soul. And right now, I don't think she got very much left of that soul, if anything at all. Should be experimented on. No, all of this for the sake of our development. It's not our development; it is our marginalization. The people don't have any good for us, and they use us. And as the lady here says here, well, she got promised the Secretary General, but she troubled Putin, so she didn't get it.
But I thought that she it was interesting hearing it from somebody outside of Barbados, and she obviously has researched the Prime Minister. She calls her the darling of the West, right? And the promised the next Secretary UN post there, and so UN Secretary post, and therefore it's very hard to see a black person. I mean, especially when you think about her looking so in Jamaica we say rootsy, her hair out you know, and looking like she's all for black people. And to see somebody like, even like, I mean, how does commission even I mean, what, I don't even understand where the Pan African is. How come they don't rebuke her? Or how come there's no rebuke of her for doing something like this? And the Barbados to be the first Caribbean countries that they're going to send, as you call it, this is our toy army, to get our soldiers killed again because of her selfish reasons, right? To get our soldiers killed.
We have leaders of the country who want to push us onto becoming a communist country with one party rule. I said on this show before, research the constitutional amendment of Namibia, where the youngest MP, her name is Patience Mansour. I look at how she got into the parliament of her country. She didn't have to face any election. She was appointed. How can you appoint an MP? Right? An MP is removed by resignation, death. Right? You can't fire an MP. And there are some countries who have recall clauses. Right? But in that case, the MP died. And instead of going to a by-election, the leadership of the country just said, look, hey, appoint her. She's now the MP, she's now the representative. That is where we're heading in Barbados. And we heard Kurt Humphrey when he came and put forward this suggestion about national MPs. And there should be national MPs. And that is the exact system there where they're going to try to appoint people and to stop having free and fair elections. That is exactly where we're heading, you know. Complete one party, totalitarian society, fully monitored, spies, social credit score. And these things happen right over there in China already. We have legislation in place for a credit bureau in Barbados. Hey, Marcia, did you know all of your information is sent to a credit bureau?
No.
Hey, yep. We have a credit bureau in Barbados. So step by step and day by day, we are creeping into a fully, how do I call it, a police state, a military state, because it's getting beyond that, right? And let's use elements for the cybercrime bill. They want to use the police to be able to carry out tyrannical orders. And the fact that they're changing the statute of the public service, which would give the minister or the prime minister more power to hire and fire civil servants willy-nilly. Think about it. You're a police officer and the leadership of the country tells you, well, you know, hey, go and spy on Marcia. And there are no rules and laws to stop that. Just think about what they will do, how far they will carry it. And the fact that right now, the prime minister has written a letter to the show. What does that say already, Marcia? If they could shut down every opposing voice in Barbados, they would do it. Because that is how communist countries operate. They do not allow for dissenting voices to triumph. And we are seeing all signs of one-party rule. We are seeing signs of the fact that the prime minister could reach over into the Democratic Labour Party and have certain people under her control. We see that. We see those things. So, if you don't stand up now, this is the end of the end. But I'm standing up. Kazo, know you're standing up. Marcia, know you're standing up. And on the 23rd of March, Kensington, 2, our usual spot at Independence Square, we'll be there marching against tyranny and dictatorship. I will be there. Marcia will be there. Caswell, Pastor Ferdinand, Lumumba, members of the loyal opposition. We'll all be there. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend, and tell a friend. Like, share, put it all over social media. Call Bar Stats. Let them know we're having a march on Saturday. And let us get the biggest march that we ever had in Barbados. Despite the fact that they send out drones to spy on us and have policemen on every corner spying on us. Innocent citizens standing up for their own rights. But again, these types of things happen in fully controlled dictatorships. And if you do not stand up against this oppression, this is the beginning of the end for democracy in Barbados.
Correct, Kimar. Correct. And let's let everybody know the flyer is being worked on. When you see the flyer, once the flyer comes out, we should have the flyer by tomorrow morning. Once the flyer comes out, then everybody put it up on your status. We should at least have 1,000 people down there on Saturday. All right, this is very, 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 very serious because the prime minister is doing what, or the government, they're doing what they want to do. They're doing what they want to do. They decide when they turn up. If they want to go to the estimate, they don't want to be at the estimate. They want to travel. They're doing what they want to do. It's time Barbadians realize what is going on and stand up for yourselves. Every parent at Leicester Vaughan needs to be down there. We can't keep on the street for you and you don't turn up. You need to be there. When Springer School, where were the parents? It can't work that way. Get down there unless you have work. Unless you have work, the rest of you come down there, do your shopping. With enough of this thing, you can't sit down and wait on others to do this for you. Okay? It's great that that parent, that father spoke up, that we could, because of him speaking up, Mr. Franklin could dig into the files and come out and expose everything tonight. Thank God for that parent, but we need more parents like that. So the entire PTA at Leicester Vaughan need to be down at Massey Car Park, Kensington, over Saturday at 10 o'clock. Come a little before because we move out at 10. And this time around, we're going to go be in Independence Square, right? Independence Square, we're booking Independence Square as well, where we're going to be having our speeches and in like a rally setting. That's going to happen because that's what the people asked for. And we asked you to bring something, walk with a little donation to help us to cover everything, right? As we normally do. You don't leave us with any debts. You're going to make sure that it's covered. Walk with what you need, yes?
I was just going through my phone, and people who are listening to this show, I've just got reports from Lodge School that says that the report on the Lodge School was sent to the school weeks ago, but they still haven't disclosed it to the teachers either. They sent it off to the Ministry of Education, and they're keeping it down there, not telling the staff what they're suffering from. Right? Somebody told me that another person said that a lady I know of, she was a teacher there at Leicester Vaughan, and she died of cancer, and they're not wondering if it had anything to do that these things triggered her cancer. Then another person wrote that I'm saying that they're still asking the ancillary staff to come out, and the person wrote and said, but the roster just come out for this week. They're just on the roster, even though they know they probably still want the staff to go on there and die, right? And then the staff at BRA is saying, we will go all the way to the CCJ.